Good morning, everyone. It's very good morning. Shall we begin the session? Today's topic is the library research. In the last class, we have started with the chapter number 5, before research, and I'm going to yes, library research. Okay, wait for 5 minutes more. So let's start with the session. In the last class, we have finished with the chapter number, or we have started with the chapter number 5, that is before research. So in this, we have studied, what are the various drawbacks of using the research activities, how teachers can integrate or are inexperienced in integrating the research activity into the curriculum that find useful, how to plan a research activity, what are the various guidelines and the consideration for a research activities. So all this we have discussed in the last class. And one important thing that we have discussed is planning is a way of caring because it minimizes the risk. Then we studied about the TRM also, teacher resource material, that helps to deal or helps at every stage of the research to deal with the students. Or to, yes, for the back to great efficiency is better education, right? Then these are the 4 charts that is discussed: viewing the station, listening station, interviewing station, and the reading station. Viewing includes pictures, film strips, video films, audio tapes. That is a listening station, recorded interviews, recorded stories, or the articles. Then interviewing station, resource people, reading station, reference books, articles from magazines. Then we already discussed about the integrating with the classroom activities, that is done with the CAD, computer designing. And these are the 4 steps that is used in the curriculum objectives students needs to or consider when planning for the research. So step number 1 is curriculum objectives, then 2 students needs, then resources. After that there's the research skills and the implementation. So there are 5 parts in this: curriculum objectives, students needs, resources, research skills, and the implementation. And these are used with the 5 steps also, or stages also. One is the planning, information retrieval, processing, sharing, and the evaluation. So let's start with the next topic, library research. That means now the focus on the library research or the focus on the library elements. So students need to taught how to gather information, not just assign the task, but they also give or given or students should be given preference or the practice developing the research questions by doing it as a class and proceeding to the questions or proceeding to the queries, research questions by doing it as a class and proceeding with their thinking on their own. And there are 2 important steps that is used in researching. First is compiling each and every question before research. You must prepare, yes, you must prepare before research by compiling each and every question. Then answer the questions in their own words, not copied question, and make the notes in point forms. Either you can use the bullets, either you can the numbering for making the points. So compiling question is also one of the things that how we can compile the question, what is the sequence, what is the order of the questions, how we can arrange them. So compile questions before research, answer question in own words, or make the notes in point form. And by teaching students how to do written assignments, both the research and the writing, that may be eliminated, that may be used, that may be available with the written assignments. So let's start with the first one. First is planning. We have to plan out something. We have to plan out how to do things. What are the various material that is required? Students need to taught how to gather the information, not just assign the task, but they also should be given, or students also be given the practice developing the research questions by doing it as a class and proceeding to the question thinking of their own. And there are 2 important steps that is used in researching are compiling the questions before the research, answer the questions in their own words. And by teaching the students how to do the written assignments or both the research and the writing, that also eliminated with the concept of the, yes, with the help of the class, with the concept of class. So what are the various stages in which it is used? So first is the planning. Planning includes choosing a product subject, then develop the questions for each research. How we can develop the questions, what are the various things that we plan out, who, why, what, where, when, how. So who are the materials, why we use this, what are the various things that is used, where it comes or from where it comes, when it happens, and how it happens. So these are the various questions that is also available or that is also used in the planning part. So developing the questions for research, who, why, what, where, when, how. Then next is identifying the source of information. We can also identify what are the various sources of information. That information may be any information that is required. And sources includes the interviews, questionnaires, group discussion. That is how to gather the data, how to gather the information. What are the various sources by which we can gather the information? That is identifying the sources of information. Then locating and gathering information. First includes print, next includes non-print. Then this is done, locating and gathering is also done. Then next is reading. Reading includes the analyzing, reading includes the interpreting the main related ideas, relationships, cartoons, pictures, charts, tables, graphs, maps. So how we can read them and how we can interpret by reading. What are the main ideas? What are the related ideas? What are the various relationships among the ideas? Cartoons, pictures, charts, tables, graphs, maps. The next is listening and viewing. That is also a concept of the interpreting. So first is the point of view. What is the point of view? How we can interpret the terms. Then purpose or the message. Then bias or the slant. So first is planning. Then identify the sources of information, locating and gathering information. Reading, that is how we can interpret the material, how we can interpret the thing. Then listening and viewing, interpreting. Then organizing the information. That includes classify, that includes categorize, that includes sequence. Next is note taking or the note making. Answers to research questions written in the student's own words, not the copied word or in the point form. Then webbing, mind mapping or the charting. So how we can classify, how we can categorize or how we can make the sequence. The note making or the note taking. What are the various questions or the answers to the research questions written in the student's own words. Then webbing. Webbing includes, yes, right. Then mind mapping or the charting. Seventh point is analyzing, evaluating, and summarize the information. Everything is done. Organizing is done, interpreting is done, listening is done, viewing is done. And at last we have to analyze which material is relevant to the for the production, which material is relevant to the teachers. So analyze, then evaluate whether this is correct or not. So take the second opinion. And at last there is a summarizing the information. We can summarize the information, collect the information with each other, or collect the information we can say in tabular format, in documentation, in PDF file, anything. This includes develop the conclusions, generalizations, and then make the decisions. After analyzing each and every concept, after evaluating each and every concept, then make the decisions for the information. So these are the 7 points that is used with the students how to take the or how to do the written assignments, both from the research and the writing part. So any doubts anyone in the planning, how we can choose the subject, how we can develop the questions for the research, then identify what are the various sources of information, then locating and gathering information, reading, interpreting main ideas, related ideas, relationships, pictures, charts, tables, graphs, then maps, and how we can listen, how we can view the concept, that is interpreting, what is the main point of view, what is the main purpose of the or the message, then what is the bias and the slant. After this, there is the organizing information, how we can classify, how we can categorize, how we can make the sequence. Not taking, not making, webbing, mind mapping, or the charting. Then next is analyzing, evaluating, and the summarizing. That includes the conclusions, generalizations, make that decision. Just read out for 5 minutes. Any doubts, anything that you want to ask, then please ask from me. Next is, what do you have to help me with my research activities? What are the various things that you consider with my research activities? The following checklist will assist the teachers in determining the focus of a research activity. These considerations should be used to design what are the research activities that includes the all research stages and the skills, or they can be used for the research activities which focus on some smaller component of the research skills continuum. So first is teacher guide for planning research, a checklist. First is the guidelines and the consideration. So first is the assignment that includes a curriculum fit, format, research procedures to be taught, evaluation, then purpose. Purpose includes to introduce, to review, to expand the information and the knowledge, to focus. Example, general information, specific, opinion, issue based. That is the assignment. So assignment includes a curriculum fit, that includes a format, that includes the research procedures to be taught, then includes the evaluation. Purpose includes how to expand, how to review, how to make the or how to use the specific information or the issue-based information. Then the students. That includes the ability and the stage of the development, learning preferences, social grouping, cooperative learning skills. What are the various cooperative learning skills in terms of the students? Then the resources. First is the school library, other libraries, teacher librarian, other resource peoples, community, and the other. That is also the resources of the school library, other libraries, teacher librarian, other resource people. So what should ever be the data, what should ever be the force that will be applied on the material, that will be applied on the school libraries, community, resource peoples. That is the guidelines and the consideration. Then goals. What is the main concept? So to apply or practice research procedures to improve the decision-making abilities. Then skills to plan for research, to work in a variety of the social studies, and to support a personal opinion. Then attitudes to develop an appreciation for the knowledge and the culture, to recognize that a variety of the opinion exists, to develop the cooperative learning skills, experiences that pride in creating a product, desire to improve the future efforts, understand and value the effective research procedures, and appreciate the need for lifelong learning skills. That is also one of the part of the attitude. So goal includes the concept, goal includes the skills, goal includes the attitudes. This is the picture that shows how they interact with each other, how they useful, or how they use the material, like the guidelines and the consideration and the goals of this. Then what else do you have for me? So planning research or planning a research assignment that includes all the stages and the skills involves several steps. And these steps includes a sample research activity unity plan. Not only does it also outlines a unit teaching plan, it also provides a signpost to be aware of or when considering a research activities. When it is used for the planning procedures for the teachers, when it is used for the activities for the students. So what else do you have for me? What are the other things that will be provided under the sample research activity unit plan? Not only this, it outlines a teaching plan. It also provides a signpost to be aware of when considering a research activity. That includes the planning procedures for the teacher, that includes the activity for the students. That is simple activities providing a research activity that involves all the 5 research stages, and most of the skills are from the research model. And the copy-ready planning form is also provided in the appendix, and that can be used for any research activity regardless of the level of the skills emphasizes. So this is how we can done with the various features, how we can use the teacher guide for the planning research, that is a checklist. Guidelines, assignments, student resources, concepts, skills, attitude. These are the various sample research activity plans. Unit plan, first is a subject, language, arts and the health, then foods, theme is foods, 3 weeks, 1 hour per day, then grade is 3. So stages, time, strategies, resources. Stage 1 is planning. Planning include established topic, time is 30 minutes. Now strategies, this is most important. Brainstorming list of the foods. Brainstorm and the categorize food research questions and focus on where it comes, how it is prepared, how it is stored. So where, when, how, why, these are the questions that is included in the brainstorming. The next strategy is provide a sample of the soya beans, rice, and so on for added the student awareness. So whatever the food, whatever the material we are using out, so provide the sample of each and every part for added the students awareness. Then what are the various resources? So teacher also includes the TLM, video resources, YouTube, anything that is used for establish the topic. So this is the planning part, and this includes this is used for 30 minutes. Then identify the information resources. Brainstorm the likely information sources. Browse through sources. Students reflect food or select food to study and locate at least 2 sources. So brainstorming includes the parts that will be included in the likely information sources. Then what was this before it was bread? What is before it was ice cream? So these are the questions, hints that will be used by the teacher for their effective consideration. This also takes 30 minutes. Then identify the audience and the presentation format. This is for the 30 minutes. Less preparation formats, posters review, mobile new, illustrated report review, diagram review. Then from the teacher point of view, collect the print resources on the card for student use. Then establish the evaluation criteria for also 20 minutes. Brainstorm and list per priority the evaluation criteria. Then review process, 20 minutes. Review research plan with the students to identify the important steps in planning. Check each student score list, whatever the score list that will be used. So review the process, collect the resources, print the resources. These all steps includes 20 and 20 minutes. So one is evaluation, 20 minutes, review, 20 minutes. The titles of the students' learning resources identified above were provided to the courtesy of the Allen Bakery and the Duncan Edson. That is, listing is constructed as an explicit or the implicit departmental approval for use. And these are titled or provided as a service only to assist the local jurisdiction to identify the resources that contains potentially useful ideas for the teachers, for the students, and they have a responsibility to evaluate these resources that is prior to the selection test with the local jurisdiction according to the local policy, local concept, local criteria. So these formats will be used